Hi folks, I'm Neil Barton and thank you very much for East Texas in Focus today. Getting started now. Tonight we're focusing on learning and earning, specifically looking at trade schools. Education is a pathway, not a destination. And when it comes to high school graduates and looking at the cost before your college degree, you know what? It can be discouraging and out of your reach, but fortunately, we're learning a trade is a faster and affordable way to make a living, so it makes you on the way to a good job. So our guest this afternoon is Dwayne Shaw from Kilgore College. Thank you very much for being with us.
Hello.
Tell us about yourself.
As you mentioned, I'm Dwayne Shaw. I'm the Executive Dean of Professional and Career Education at Kilgore College.
That's a very fancy handle.
It's a very long title that basically means I get an opportunity to work with those programs that you just mentioned, those programs that help students, whether they're straight out of high school or retraining for another job, to be able to get in, get skills that they need for trades that are living wage paying jobs right here in East Texas, and get back out as quickly as possible.
So really, you're from the area, so you pretty much tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah. I originally born in Linden, Texas, raised around Hallsville, graduated from Hallsville High School, also a Kilgore College graduate. So been raised and live around this area my whole life. All about East Texas. Love East Texas.
Of course, now you're a teacher. What did you do before you were a teacher, or if anything?
I did. I was teaching. I did teach at the college. Prior to that, I was very much like a lot of the students that you're talking about. I wasn't really looking for traditional get out of school, go to college type education. I wanted to learn a skill. I wanted to go to work. I did that. I went through a trade school myself for automotive technology, graduated from that, came back to work.
From where?
I went to Houston and went to a school there. Was a top trade school in Houston for auto mechanics, and came back to the East Texas area. Went to work for the Cadillac Oldsmobile dealer in Longview. Was Lively at the time. It's now an Ore dealer. But but I worked there. Worked my way around in some other dealerships for General Motors, and found myself being interested in teaching automotive. Good. So moved to the college. There was an opening there in that division, in that department. I started teaching automotive technology at Kilgore College back a long time ago. It's been 23 years ago. I started 24 years ago now, I guess.
You've done a better job than me setting things up for this piece we're doing right now. So we're going to look at a story that we ran on our Fox station about a week or so ago. I thought it was one of the best packages I've seen, because pretty much it tells about back in my days in the 70s they called it VOTEC. Right. It tells about it, and pretty much you don't need a 4-year college degree to make a great living and to survive. Roll that, please.
The need is so critical, and building contractors are so desperate right now. They're going straight after high school students and telling them maybe they shouldn't go to college. Maybe your child is needed to help build our future.
We want 3/8 of an inch between the brick for the mortar joint.
Oh my gosh, the need is very critical. Work has increased. The problem is they don't have the manpower to do these jobs.
She says area builders would hire all 900 high school students now coming through this Construction Career Expo in Belleville. The needs are across the board, from operating engineers to run heavy equipment at construction sites to welders like 22-year-old Carl Bellum of Carlinville, who has quickly gone from student to instructor here.
4 more years of schooling seemed like a lot to me, and the debt was in the back of my mind.
It used to be that they try to push that you should go to college and get a degree. I think just a lot of people are starting to realize that we need people to do these jobs. Without them, we wouldn't be able to live, and there's a lot of money to make there.
The Southern Illinois Builders Association reports the same high school grad who might rack up $90,000 in debt during 4 years of college would instead earn $175,000 or more during a union apprenticeship and come out with a $75,000 to $95,000 a year job, plus health care and retirement.
A lot of these students come back with their parents because they got to sell their parents, and a lot of times parents don't realize how viable this option is for them.
Copper's not clean, it won't stick.
And there is no shortage of work, just well-paid workers.
Well, how about that? That pretty much sets it up, doesn't it?
It does
React
indeed.
to that, please.
It does indeed. Everything they said there is completely accurate, not just in that area, but also right here in the East Texas area. When you're looking at those trades they were just talking about, as well as other manufacturing jobs, transportation like CDL drivers, things of that nature, those are all jobs that when you hear the phrase a lot of times, a living wage, making a living wage.
And those are jobs hunting people.
Those are actually, and also when we're looking at these living wage amounts of money, there's living wage calculators out there you can go get offline and look at them, and pulling the one up for Gregg and Smith County, you're looking at what they consider a living wage for a single adult individual for Gregg and Smith County is somewhere between $15.50 and $16.50 an hour. Yeah. So the jobs that they're talking about and the jobs that we're talking about at Kilgore doing these short-term jobs, these folks are coming out, starting out at $18, $20, $22, $25 an hour, depending upon which one of those fields you're looking at.
It seems amazing to me because for years I was news director here. I would hire young people out of college and they would have unbelievable amounts of college debt. I could not believe it because I got out of college at 81, and although it wasn't cheap, it wasn't ridiculous. Right. And I walked across the stage broke, but not owing anybody a penny. But to spend the next 30 years of your life paying that back, that seems insane. And if you do sort of a vocational route there, you start flush.
You're right. You're absolutely. You know, we're looking at some of these trade, some of these skilled jobs, and some of the things that we do at the college on the short-term training. And CDL is a really good example. It's a 5-week training course.
5 weeks.
5 weeks, $4,500 for the entire package. Yeah. That's trained, licensed, and out the door. And our average graduate right now is leaving at $50,000 a year.
Whoa, starting at 50.
Starting at 50, and that's our average. We've got some outliers that are starting at a lot higher. Some of the oil field truck driving jobs are paying them 80 to start.
80 to start?
Because of the number of hours that they work, they end up making $80,000 that first year.
So once again, that is a 5-week course, right?
5-week course for $4,500 for 5 weeks.
And they teach
so again, no debt whenever you're walking out of there, but a livable, a living wage job right off the bat.
And once again, they teach you there with those big 18-wheelers.
Correct.
Look at your windows, look at your mirrors. Ride those mirrors, right? All right.
All those things, yes, sir.
All right. That is a great start right now. When we come back, East Texas in Focus, more with Mr. Dwayne Shaw. We appreciate you being with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We're focusing on trade schools, really taking a long look at the educational path that can benefit young people heading into the workforce here, because in recent years, there's been a huge demand for jobs like plumbing, electrical engineering, also carpentry, and even dental hygiene, so things like that. People like me, my folks were like one generation off the farm. And they told me, you too, young men, are going to go to college. But again, it didn't cost that much back then, but nowadays it does. We talked about that. What sort of folks do you have who sign up for trade school?
You know, whenever you look at the opportunity that I have, I work across a very wide gamut of things.
Like it.
Everything from health sciences to computer and information technology, industrial technology. We have so it really is a wide variety, and I do deal with a lot of those industries. And what we've really done with our programs is gone out and got those industry councils and said, hey, what is it that you need from a graduate? And if I was going to talk about something that they all have told me, every one of them, regardless of whether it's health science or computers or industrial tech, is we need someone with a good work ethic, that understands why it's important to be there on time every day, good communication skills, and being able to work together in a team, because there's nothing that disrupts their work, their work more than someone who's going to be disruptive to the whole process. So believe it or not, it's not necessarily someone with a good mechanical aptitude, because again, some of these are health science workers that's not necessarily the key for, but it's those people that have that work ethic. I want to get a job, I want to go to work, this is what I'm looking for.
What are the hot jobs right now that you're seeing?
Oh wow, we're seeing in the healthcare industry, our patient care technicians and medical coding. Medical coding is a big deal right now.
I've heard learn to code.
Learn to code medical coding for insurance companies, as well as our areas when we're looking for in the physicians areas, as well as insurances. We're of course they're always looking. All of our first responders. The police, our fire, our EMS, and we've got those areas there. Again, those are short term. It's 18 weeks for police. It's 14 weeks for fire, and 8 weeks to get basic EMT.
I saw a board a while back of one of those mechanical rotating boards by the mall there in Tyler, saying that TPD, Tyler Police Department, hiring rookie officers like $66,000.
I think that's correct for Tyler PD, absolutely. And again, the majority of those, the academy doesn't really, if they're sponsored by someone like Tyler PD, it doesn't cost them anything. But between the sponsorship of that PD plus your economic development. Our East Texas Council on Governments also funds training new police officers. So a lot of times it costs them nothing. It's sometimes a small fee, maybe $75 to take the entire academy.
I want to talk about aptitude once again, because you get some guy like me. I'm more liberal arts minded.
Understood.
I can fix some things, not everything, but can you teach someone like me how to work at a refinery or be a plumber or HVAC or whatever? Will you teach me from soup to nuts?
Absolutely. We definitely do. And you'd be very surprised how many retrain, upskill, reskill folks that we see. I realize these are great jobs for students coming out of high school, but you get someone who went and and nothing against a bachelor's degree.
No.
But they said, hey, I'm gonna go to a 2-year college and get my basics and transfer to UT Tyler and get a bachelor's degree.
Happens all the time.
And whenever we go to the high schools and we say that's your plan, but what job are you going for with that? And then there's a lot of blank looks on their face, because just like your parents said, you're going to go to college.
They told me get a degree in basket. We've been getting something. Right. You're going to college and you're going to graduate.
But you'd be surprised how many people we see that have that degree that have come back to us and said, hey, can you get me some basic entry-level skills to get me into a manufacturing job or into healthcare or to IT, to be able to do some kind of an IT or cybersecurity position.
Well, there's a guy I hired right here from Beaumont. And he loved the job or whatever, but needed more money. So he went back to Lamar down there and took like a 2-year trade school on working on gauges or something at a refinery.
Yes.
And now he's making great money.
Instrumentation and electrical technicians. That's
what it is.
And see, and here's an interesting thing. I'm glad that you brought that up, and you brought it up that way.
That's why I'm here.
Because you said it's some kind of something to do with gauges. And that's what's very interesting. The high school students that we're talking about coming out, without some career exploration, without them knowing that job even exists, they wouldn't know to get training for that. So it's really critical, and a lot of the high schools do it, and the ISDs do a really good job of saying, hey, here's some career exploration. These are jobs that are out there, because otherwise they know what their parents did. They know there's a news anchor on TV, but they don't know that instrumentation and electrical technician job in Longview starts out at $27 an hour.
Yeah, well, I say that because I grew up in Southeast Texas, and it was refinery laden.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And everybody who was connected got a good job at the plant. And then technology came along. Everyone at the plant got laid off. And it basically was run by a bunch of people who ran instruments.
Right.
And so you're in the catbird seat.
Right. Those are the operators, and we can train those as well. But you're right. The operators make good money, but the ones who really make good money, again, those welders, those instrumentation techs, and the industrial maintenance guys who are keeping all of that equipment running, are the ones that are really making the money.
Hold that thought.
Yes, sir.
When we come back, your thoughts will be heard by us right here in Focus as we open up the inbox here. Go nowhere. Stay with us. And welcome back. Dwayne Shaw's our guest, right? I'm the host, you're the guest from Kilgore College. So once again, we're talking about how long are most of these courses?
Anywhere, the shortest ones we have, we've got a 3-week course. It's a CNA course for certified nursing assistants.
Okay.
And then anywhere from there to a year long, depending upon which one of those areas that you're focused on. Again, 5 weeks for CDL, 10 weeks for our electrical our electrical linemen, the ones who pull wires.
You teach that?
Yes, we absolutely do, and that's a 10-week
My
program.
uncle did that, and he made great money.
It is phenomenal.
You work
money.
when it's stormy, but he made great money, had a great pension.
Yes, I mean, so that one's 10 weeks long. Again, the medical coding is only 12 weeks. We've got a pharmacy technician program that's 16
That's a good deal.
That's 16 weeks long. Several of the industry certification training courses that we do in computer and information technology are only 8 weeks. So we've got a lot of short, quick turnaround stuff. Our manufacturing program, there's the one that we developed with our we have an advanced manufacturing industrial technologies committee that we formed to try to start our new manufacturing program, and we've got a 9-month program. It's 2 semesters long that guarantees you an interview with any of the manufacturers in the East Texas area. And they've said if you complete those courses, we will guarantee you an interview for one of those entry-level positions.
So still, what people want to know, what pays the most?
what pays the most. Actually, one of our, and again, it's that we have those outliers, right? Again, we've got some of the CDL drivers that are starting out making $80,000 a year. We have a program that's corrosion technology, which again,
what is it again?
Corrosion
technology. CT.
It's corrosion technology, and they look at degradation and things that create problems in pipelines, but also infrastructure, things like bridges and overpasses.
Well, that's happening right now
nature.
because we're doing news stories about pipelines across people's property that they were laid down there like 60, 70 years ago, and now they're cracking.
Right. So and the people, the technicians who monitor to make sure that those pipelines are not degrading and those types of things. That's a two semester certificate that on average starts at $60,000 a year.
And physically, do I have to be in good shape for most of these jobs?
Well, that one is a lot of outside. It is a lot of being on a pipeline and walking down pipelines and doing things of that nature. So that one, yeah, probably a little more physically demanding. But some of the driving jobs, climbing the electrical poles, got to have got to be a little bit in shape, to be able to do some of these.
But even though I'm more liberal arts minded, you can't teach me how to fix an air conditioner.
Absolutely.
Because there's testing that goes along.
We could, yes, absolutely, and it does start exactly like you said. From the very bottom ground, basic understanding of electricity and air conditioning and moving forward.
You give me hope.
Yes,
although I like this job better. Hey, coming up after the break, closing words from Mr. Dwayne Shaw and myself from Kilgore College. Please stay with us. 30 seconds, final thoughts.
So at Kilgore College, our current slogan is "Education Works." And that's because education, the correct education will put you to work. So whenever students, if you're a high school student, you're thinking about what you're going to do or where you want to go, think about that, put that end in mind. Find out what that end goal is, because that's going to get you there more quickly for less debt, and it's going to get you in that job that you're gonna really love. So, my final thoughts are go to school with the end in mind.
Please come back and be with us when we can.
Absolutely.
This is a huge topic here. Next week, more issues right here at East Texas Focus. Coming up on Saturday, East Texas in Focus after Fox 51 News at 9 o'clock. Have a nice weekend, everybody.